I'm not really one that's usually prone to having visions, but the other night, as my wife and I were going to bed, we sat down to pray, and I just closed my eyes, sat on the bedside, and just started praying in the spirit, just started praying in tongues with my eyes closed. And I started seeing a vision unfolding. I first noticed there was clouds, but in between the clouds was like a neon green lighting. It was really strange. It was like the sky was full of clouds, but all the clouds were interconnected by, it was almost like there was some sort of strange green lighting beyond the clouds, behind the clouds, but you could see it through all the gaps in the clouds and all the cracks in the clouds. So I saw like these clouds first with this strange green hue, a neon green hue from behind the clouds. Then the next thing that I noticed is underneath the clouds, there was like, I saw treetops. I saw like the tops of tall trees. It looked like a forest, some sort of a forest. And at first I wasn't sure, what am I seeing? Is this real? Like, because like I said, I don't usually see a lot of visions and things like that. I have in the past sometimes, but not often. So I just kind of kept focusing on what am I seeing here? I knew, like, I was paying attention to it because I just started praying. I was praying in the spirit, just praying with my eyes closed. So I just thought, like, okay, maybe this is something from God. Anyway, as I was focusing on the strange green clouds, the forest beneath, all of a sudden I saw something starting to emerge out of the forest. This person or thing started emerging out of the forest, and as I tuned in and was paying more attention to it, I saw it was actually Yosemite Sam. The Looney Tunes character Yosemite Sam was coming out of the forest. And then shortly after that's when I opened my eyes, and I was like, that's strange. Like, I was like, why on earth would I be seeing Yosemite Sam coming out of a dark forest at night time with strange neon green lighting behind the clouds? We finished praying and I went to bed, not really thinking much of it. Anyway, at about 2 in the morning, I woke up, and I suddenly remembered the vision. I woke up and instantly remembered the vision. And then instantly my mind realized, like, oh my goodness, Yosemite Sam, hang on. I saw strange green clouds. I saw a forest at night, like a tall trees in a forest, and Yosemite Sam coming. And then my mind clicked, and I was like, hang on, Yosemite isn't the name of the national park in America, which I thought was strange. Like, here I am in Sydney, Australia. What have I got to do with a national park in America? But instantly I realized, hang on, maybe Yosemite Sam was a symbol of the Yosemite National Park. And that's how God was showing me, because otherwise I would have had no idea that was Yosemite National Park. I just saw a random forest. But because Yosemite Sam was the one coming out of it, that's how I believe God was showing me. He's showing me something about the Yosemite National Park in California. And I was like, wow. And then as I realized that, I then also realized, hang on, these strange clouds with like green lighting behind them, what if it's symbolizing some sort of like, alien, event, alien event or alien deception. And that was what I realized. So it was kind of like I received understanding for the vision that it's got something to do with Yosemite National Park and potentially something emerging from the national park that might have to do with some sort of alien life or a fake alien life. And I have my thoughts about the whole alien thing that seems to be going on at the moment. I'll share what I think about it, but now I'm just sharing my perspective, my opinion, which could be wrong. So first I wanted to share the vision, because now the rest of my interpretation might be right, might not be right, but I definitely saw some sort of strange green lighting like that you would associate with aliens, like with UFOs or aliens appearing in a forest. It kind of also reminded me of, there was a very old Simpsons episode where an alien appeared in the bush, in the woods, in a Simpsons episode, and he had this neon green glow about him. That was almost exactly the same glow that I saw behind the clouds in the sky. So, sorry, smoke's blowing in my face. So now, obviously, what do I think about the whole alien thing? Now, like, I don't know whether there is alien life out there or not. Obviously, most Christians don't believe aliens are real because the Bible doesn't mention anything about aliens. But the thing is, just because something is not mentioned in the Bible doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Now, that doesn't mean I do believe that is alien life out there. I don't know. I lean towards the possibility that there's probably isn't. But I do believe that obviously demons are real, and I do also believe that strange things can manifest in the natural that might have a demonic origin. If you look in the Bible, in the times of Noah, there was all these giants that were roaming, the Nephilim, the Anakim, the Rephaim, they have all these different strange names, right, which were basically crossbreeds, giants that lived in the land at the time. And then also, which common thought is that they were the offspring of the fallen angels that mated with women. So who knows what sort of strange creatures could have been bred at that time, and who knows what strange creatures still might exist somewhere, somewhere where we've never seen. Who knows, right? In terms of like spiritual warfare type stuff. So I do think that, there is a possibility that alien life could exist, but I don't think it's aliens from other planets. I think it's aliens that have been created from like crossbreeds between humans and demons and fallen angels and things like that. And it's interesting because there's a lot of Christian ministers and prophets around the world that are talking about a great alien deception that's coming, and that there will be some sort of a appearance of alien that people will think they're real aliens, but they've actually got demonic origins. So who knows, maybe the vision I had has something to do with something that's going to emerge or come out of the Yosemite National Park. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not usually one that's prone to getting a lot of visions, so this was definitely interesting for me. And yeah, I just wanted to get on here and share it, because hey, if something does end up coming out of Yosemite National Park, I did also, once I really put the two and two together, I did some Googling just to check, hang on, is there anything going on at Yosemite National Park at the moment that maybe my subconscious picked up on? But no, I couldn't find anything in the news about Yosemite National Park. I couldn't find anything that, that was out of the ordinary. So that way, at least I thought, if I upload the video now and something does happen down the track, then we can know, like, yes, God was showing me something that's going to take place in the future. But yeah, if you've got any other thoughts or comments you want to add, feel free, like I said. And look, at the same time, I've even heard some Christian ministers say that they have had experiences in the spirit where they have seen other alien life out there in the universe. That's not necessarily demonic origin, it's just alien life that was just created by God. That's just in another universe that we've never met yet. Oh, sorry, another planet, another galaxy somewhere far away, right? Which, obviously, to most of us that would sound strange and probably not true, but who knows, it could be true, we don't know. I'm open-minded that anything could be possible, but at the same time, I have my thoughts on and opinions on what might be real and what might be a deception. But yeah, I just wanted to share that vision that I had because it was strange. I knew it was definitely a spiritual experience because I was seeing these green clouds, I was seeing the forest at night time. And then Yosemite Sam just comes out of the forest. And I didn't even know. I did some Googling about Yosemite Sam, and he was actually named after that Yosemite National Park. Well, that's where he got his name from. I didn't even know. So, yeah, it was just definitely felt like a God thing, the way it all pieced together. And, and maybe my interpretation of the green clouds could be wrong. Maybe it's got nothing to do with aliens or fake aliens or like an alien deception. Maybe it's got something to do, maybe it's some other sort of event that's going to happen. Maybe it's a weather event that's going to happen in that park. I don't know. But certainly the impression that I got is it was some sort of alien event, potentially in line with this alien deception that a lot of people are feeling that might be going on, or that's going to take place in the future. And potentially that some of it is going to be birthed out of Yosemite National Park. Who knows? But yeah, God bless all of you. Man, we serve an amazing God. There's just so many things that we don't even know that we just scratch the surface of. And yeah, we just got to be obedient to play our part in God's kingdom and let Him be God and enjoy the process. So yeah, God bless all of you, and I'll see you on the next one.